Hello, this is Julie at Love's Beginning with a blog post entitled Returning to Yourself. Love is the great healer. From The Way of Mastery, Part 2, The Way of Transformation by the Shanti Christo Foundation. Every time you perceive a conflict, love is there in the background. If you invite yourself to tune into it and recognize it as dominant, you usher in the energy of transformation. It is very simple, and it is something anyone and everyone can do. Everyone shares the power of miracles and transformation equally. Your greatest joy always lies in becoming a clear channel for this energy of transformation, and there are as many ways to channel what you all are, your true identity, as there are people. The flavor is different in each one of us, but the joy and the power are the same. Although polarities appear in your world and can be labeled, love has no polarity and is not part of any polarity. You might say that hate is an opposite of love, but hate is only a very fearful denial of love's ever-presence, of your identity in and as love, of everyone else's identity in and as love. You might say that fear is the opposite of love, but it's only a neutral energy used to obscure the awareness of love's ever-presence. Fear makes the experience of polarity possible. We wondered, what could we do? How far could we go? Now we know, and it is always safe to put fear down. Fear keeps egoic consciousness running, and it is always safe to step out of the egoic consciousness game you chose. Love is the fundamental stability, and there is nothing safer or more sane than reorienting yourself to your identity in and as love. Everything separate and definable comes and goes, but love remains, and you are that. Whenever you feel swept back and forth by what can go back and forth, you can always stop and refocus on that which is immovable. As you do so, you bring the energy of the eternal into the temporary. It is your greatest power. When you think you are subject to the back and forth, you are unaware of the power you are, so you reach for a false and unstable power with a weak and shaky base. You can always remember, however, that what you are always encompasses the false power, the attempts to use it, and the temporary misidentification. Time is part of the separation experience you have given yourself, but time is not real. Time is one of the things you could taste, and you tasted it. Time is one of the things you could pretend that you as a separate entity are subject to, but that has never been true. This has been a play you've been enacting. This has been you at play with the energy of separation. If you can see the innocence of that, it will be very easy for you to turn time over to love, to who you truly are instead of who you truly aren't, in the service of healing. You give this lifetime to healing and recognize that each thing that appears in the now is perfect, always perfect. And if it is ever disturbing, it's serving you in the undoing of separation. It's reminding you to dive back into the whole that you are, to put your attention there, beyond time and beyond any facet of separation. If you are engaged in the differentiation and joy and bliss, there is no problem. Giving all to all doesn't mean that you lose the differentiation and the joy. The ego you chose will cast out lures because that is its job, telling you that you are approaching some vast, nameless, boring abyss that will swallow you whole, and you will never be entertained again. The ego is partially correct. You give up entertainment, distraction from the misery of ego's need for fear, for fulfillment. When it's time, and that's time in the service of healing, this is a very natural and easy choice. You're on the road toward the point where this is very obvious and clear. Whenever you find yourself pressuring yourself to give up now or open up now or do it better now, give yourself a minute to laugh. That's simply the ego doing its job. If you turn time over to the service of healing and allow every disturbance to return you to the awareness of the whole, you're moving along with that healing energy in appreciation of it. The ego, a device for separation, is innocent. It does its job. When you are no longer primarily oriented toward aligning with the job it's programmed to do, there is no problem. As you turn everything over to the service of healing perception, love brings everything together in the service of love, benefiting all. This is the power you are, and you always have access to it. If you keep remembering that what you are and what you can bring into being is much bigger than what is disturbing you, then suddenly what is disturbing you becomes the perfect thing, because it's what you're going to see through today. You're going to see the gift in it, and as you do that, you invite the energy of transformation in. In other words, you invite you back to yourself, and you accept that invitation. We are always with you as you remember who we are together, and we're always supporting you and allowing the energy of transformation into your experience. Thanks for joining me.